everyone, it's Brad Weber again, and I have the privilege today to be talking to Jeff Cohen, Chief Strategy and Innovation Officer. I love that title as we get ready for the countdown to Indianapolis 2022. So Jeff, welcome. It's good to see you.
Brad, thank you. Appreciate you being here, and hello to everybody. Welcome to Indianapolis.
There you go. So you had many roles at Informs and lots of hats, and you actually helped launch the growing Informs Advocacy Program. So could you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. So, we launched the Advocacy Program in 2018 as a way of involving members in the public policy process, working directly with members of Congress, federal agencies, the White House, the press, to talk about the impact of their work and how members are saving lives, saving money, and solving problems through operations research and analytics. And over the last 5 years, we've accomplished so much, Brad. We've involved so many members. I'm really delighted at the level of participation and the impact that the members are having.
So you mentioned this started in 2018. So what are some of the ways that you've seen this grow?
Sure. Well, I think we have a lot of metrics that we look at as we're tracking progress, and some of them are quantitative and some of them are qualitative. But among the most important metrics is we have over 300 Informs members who have been involved in the advocacy program. And the advocacy program has all kinds of different things that members can do to be involved, whether it's in a meeting on Capitol Hill, or going to the White House, or participating in media relations activities, or the podcast. The media and the podcast, Resoundingly Human, get linked back into what we're doing with government officials and other influencers, because the stories that are told in that podcast are so important, and the impact that our members have through the press, which becomes a very important way to validate that type of work, becomes super important in reaching our audiences in government.
So you mentioned several milestones and successes, but if you had to wrap up one major success of the program thus far today, what would that be?
Boy, that's really hard to come down to just one, so I'm not going to.
Okay,
I'll give you a couple.
Okay.
There have been a number of pieces of legislation that have begun to move on Capitol Hill where our fingerprints are very much involved, where we had a seat at the table in developing the legislation. The Mathematical Modeling Statistical Act, I may have just messed up the name of that bill, but passed the House on an incredibly bipartisan basis. And our consultants and I are now working with Senate leadership and other offices to hopefully get that across the finish line. We're working with the American Statistical Association now in a partnership on brand new legislation that has yet to even be introduced that about data literacy, and operations research and analytics are part and parcel of that bill. And so partnering together brings our strengths together. There's been other legislation too. Ramaya Krishnan at Carnegie Mellon University, who was a past president of Informs, was named to the White House Advisory Council on Artificial Intelligence. And that happened very specifically because of all the work that we've been doing to position Informs in the AI community and with the White House over the years. And so some of what happens in government takes a long time. Sometimes things move lightning fast, but other times it takes multiple years and sometimes multiple Congresses in order for things to advance. So if I think about where we are now 5 years into it compared to where we started, I think we have really gone far ahead of where I thought we would be. And Elena Gersman, our executive director, always likes to describe it as we're punching above our weight class for those of you who might be fight fans. But we're making a difference. And importantly, as I tie it back to the strategic plan, right, we are advancing the science and technology of decision making. We are clearly championing our profession and our brand very nicely. Our members are involved, and knock on wood, all cylinders have just been firing.
Yeah, so it's interesting. You talk about some of the milestones, some of the things. Obviously, you need members and volunteers to help you get there. We've been talking a lot about you as members out there, how incredible you are in all aspects of Informs. So how do members get involved, and what's some of the activities they can be when it comes to advocacy?
Sure. So if you want to become involved, get in touch with me, Jeff Cohen. My email address is jcohen@informs.org. Come to our session on Wednesday. Brad, we're doing a special session on Wednesday that'll feature a panel discussion with some Informs members who have been involved in advocacy, followed by a communication workshop that we've never done before at an annual meeting with a professional trainer to come in and work with members. We've dubbed that, by the way, how to communicate a message of influence and impact in 11 minutes or less. Why? Talking to a reporter, talking to a member of Congress is a vastly different experience than preparing for a lecture or being involved in an academic talk. A different skill set, and we're communicating to achieve influence as opposed to just the conveyance of information. The panel itself features some great members: Laura Albert, Ramaya Krishnan, Michael Johnson, Anna Nagurney, Casey Lee Mass. I hope I haven't omitted anybody, and it's being moderated by Kara Morgan, who's the chair of the Advocacy Governance Committee. And they'll be talking with the members about different things that they've done over time with congressional briefings, with the press, about the importance of what this work does, because at the end of the day, this is about how do we expand the reach and impact of our members. It's terrific when they publish in a peer-reviewed journal, and it advances our body of knowledge tremendously. But most of the public and most of the policy community are not reading peer-reviewed scientific journals. They're reading the mainstream press. They're having conversations. And so we've seen time and time again how our members have been able to sort of break through and talk about the great work that they're doing, the impacts that they're having in ways that are new and novel to them, but very, very important.
So it's going to be an incredible session. Do attendees need to do anything special in order to attend this?
They do not. It's Wednesday morning, beginning right after Al Roth's presentation that morning.
Okay.
The panel discussion will go for about 90 minutes, and then the communication training will be another 90 minutes. The trainer is actually a lifelong friend of mine. Not quite lifelong, but 32 years ago he was my very first boss.
Wow.
And he and I have been very close since. And I've seen him do this session with other professional associations and some universities, and I think he brings a great demeanor and way of thinking for our group. So when we put the two together, I think attendees will have some great takeaways.
Great. Well, I know that this discussion has probably piqued a lot of your interest out there. So how does someone, what steps do they take to get involved in learning more about advocacy or becoming active and helping?
Sure. So number one, come to this session on Wednesday, pardon me. Number two, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, get in touch with me here at the Informs office, jcohen@informs.org, or depending on when you're seeing this video, swing by the Informs Center. I'll be there sort of on and off, but anybody can get you in touch with me there. And I can talk to you about the different things that you can do as a member to be involved. And part of Wednesday's workshop is to demystify what some of that means. We get a lot of questions that people may not necessarily know. What does it mean to brief a member of Congress or their staff? What do I have to do to prepare to have an interview with a reporter? So we want to make this as accessible as we can for all members. And not all members are comfortable doing the same thing. Some are very comfortable writing, but less comfortable perhaps doing an interview. And there are ways to accommodate that. Our entire objective is to help you enhance your impact and to connect our members and the amazing work that takes place with the policy community.
So, Jeff, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Indianapolis, and I wish you nothing but success on this program and all the other endeavors you do. So thank you.
Brad, thanks for being here, and we look forward to seeing everybody over the next few days.
All right, thank you so much.